Hello everybody and welcome back to another video for the day. Yes, I know the videos do in fact look a little bit different the way things are right now, but it's not unfamiliar territory for myself. Entitled parents happen to have a decent amount of text posts, so I figured I'd try to do maybe a story time format post, see how that goes out, and if you guys like it, and well, there's more to come. So if you guys would like to be amazing, show your support, see more stuff like this in the near future, be sure to hit that like button. Leave a comment down below to start up the Mulsum Internet discussions, because that engagement very much does help the video in a major way. And if you guys have not already, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. But without a further ado, let's go. Entitled Old Hag at Oppenheimer. As Karen's stories goes, this isn't exactly a barn burner, but here goes. Since tickets for Oppenheimer were incredibly hard to get in my area for some reason, I ended up having to see this movie by myself at 9:30 p.m. on Saturday night. Not incredibly convenient for me, but I really wanted to see it, and at least at that hour, there won't be too many kids. Yeah, no, like I've said, if you bring your kid to see Oppenheimer, that is a you problem, and you really shouldn't have done that. Plus, even though the movie's about the explosives and the bombs and stuff, there is a decent amount of the under-the-sheet shuffles in that movie. So do not bring your kid to see that movie. So, I show up, grab some Skittles and a soda, and go sit down. A few minutes into the previews, Karen shows up, walks to what is apparently her seat, decides she doesn't like that one, and then walks back to my aisle and starts yelling at the person sitting about 3 seats to my left that she should have that seat. This is one of those theaters with the snazzy reclining seats and enough room that people don't have to stand up to let you through. The person to my right starts filming her, and I sit up to watch. She's on the tear about how this guy needs to give her the premium seat that he reserved in advance. He needs to respect his elders. He needs to show respect to women. He needs to stop using cancel culture on her just because she is white. It should be noted that she was too. Yeah, the more they think about it, the more that the whole bringing up the race thing don't exactly work, you know, if your races match. He needs to stop being a lazy, entitled millennial. The reason she gave that this guy needs to give up his seat, she had to go through atom bomb drills in elementary school, so she deserves to have a good view for this movie. Yeah, and I had to sit under a desk for 2 hours because there was an active alert going around because of a sniper. You don't see me being a pissy little shit at the movies. Also, the whole atom bomb drill thing, like, you really, was that the whole hiding under the desk thing that Iron Giant debunked the crap out of? I grab my phone and call the theater. The person on the other end of the line can hear her and says, let me guess, Theater 4? Security will be right there in a second. You're our 5th call. They show up, escort her out of the theater, and the rest of us watch the movie in peace. Yeah, I don't know who created the whole you need to respect your elders thing, because I'm fairly certain the way respect is that you can't walk into a place, yell at somebody, and then expect them to be nice to you. I'll say this from experience, the only reason the cashier don't bark back at you when you're getting all pissy over something that is very much you being at fault is because of 2 reasons. 1, we're getting paid. 2, we like to continue getting paid because we would like to keep a job, and if we do that, it's very much not going to result in us continuing being employed there. There's also the whole thing, if you need to respect women, look, I'm not gonna respect you simply because you're a woman. I don't care who you are, what color you are, what giblets you got, or anything else. You're a dong to me, I'm a dong back. And really, the race card, I feel like that one we just kind of, diffused right when it initially happened. And really, you calling them lazy, meanwhile, you think that you can get somebody to move their seat, which they very much reserved in advance, because you're old. So, please do elaborate as to who exactly is the entitled schmuck in this scenario, ma'am. There's no reason you can feel justified to be an absolute dongwad to somebody just because you've been around since freaking Prohibition. Sister wants my wedding because it doesn't count as I'm gay. Sorry, what? This is so unreal to me that a person has this much audacity, but apparently my sister does. I, F28, met my soon-to-be wife, 35, when she moved to my country for work. She was freshly divorced, but has a little girl who is 5 named This. She is the sweetest, and it's been wonderful getting to know her. She noticed her husband after realizing she was gay, and he ran for the hills, stating he didn't want anything to do with her or her kid in case she passes it on, whatever the F that means. I proposed to her 10 months ago, as I know she would be too nervous to. It wasn't extravagant, I just asked her over dinner with her blessing. We've agreed and want it simple and intimate for the wedding. Her first wedding was big and she hated it, so just family and close friends. My parents have offered to give us some money to help towards it, even though we have assured them that it isn't going to be a big affair. But they wanted her to get pretty flower girl dresses and wanted to pay for my dress and whatever she'll wear, probably a suit. Enter my entitled younger sister, Kay, 25, who acts like she and her boyfriend are engaged, but he's too scared to actually ask her. She's the golden child, spoilt, and gets whatever she wishes. She's made some remarks about an already having a child and being a divorcee, but I told her to lose the ignorance. Just because she decided to stay in our small hometown and not expand her personality doesn't mean she can say stuff like that. Over dinner last night, she started whining about how I didn't need any money, and she didn't know why we were bothering her at the wedding when N has done it all before, but has suddenly decided she's gay and wanted to have another go at marriage with a woman. This is something N is insecure about, so I get protective of her. Kay went on to say that she could resume her first wedding dress and started cackling. Her boyfriend looked embarrassed, and my parents told her to be quieter, but no one said anything else. My parents have come to me and said it made sense to them if they give more money to my sister's wedding fund, as it will be her first and only wedding, not even engaged yet. Totally ignoring the fact that I've never been married. I told them to keep all of their money, as it wasn't welcome if they were going to shame my wife and stepdaughter. We're perfectly able to fund it on our own. Edit, I didn't say it as they've never been homophobic towards anyone or when I came out as bi, but I do wonder if a little part of them feels a straight wedding dress deserves more funding than a gay one. Since people are asking, Kay asked for the majority of what they had offered me to be taken back and put away for her, so that's why they've said they'd be doing it. I never asked for the money in the first place. Also, Kay said, why did we even need a reception if there wasn't going to be a bride or groom? Why have a normal wedding? So yeah, she doesn't think a gay wedding should be as important. Another edit. Thank you for all those well wishes, you guys are amazing. Just thought I'd let you know we are in Ireland and got married last night. It was lovely with Elle in her pretty dress. No parents or sisters. Hey, congratulations. I'm glad that everything worked out in the end. Entitled Sister-in-Law stole our baby name, and now she regrets it. Hey all, longtime lurker and all that. This is a throwaway account. To cut to the chase, my wife and I spent 4 years trying to get pregnant before the wrong side of 35. We are currently 33, respectively now, and are blessed with a wonderful infant son. My wife has a younger half-sister that she has been LC with for some time. The woman is entitled and toxic, and also her mother's golden child. We've refused to let her or my mother-in-law in the house since they both blatantly tried to make off with my wife's jewelry box a couple of years ago. The box contained a lot of valuable jewelry inherited from my wife's grandmother. Said jewelry is now in a safety deposit box as per my suggestion. My wife and I had nearly given up trying to conceive when it suddenly happened, and we were ecstatic. After we found out that we were having a boy, we started looking into names. I ended up suggesting the name of my Scottish grandfather, and my wife loved it, so that's the name we settled on. But we made the mistake of posting about it on social media. Well, no surprise to that stereotype in this mess, my sister-in-law was pregnant too, and was months further along than my wife and also having a boy. She decided to claim my grandfather's name for her own son, and not just the first name, but the middle name too. We called her, pissed over what she was doing, and she smugly told us there was nothing we could do about it, which she was sort of right. there was nothing we could do about it legally, as it is still not a crime to steal planned baby names. We realized that the drama was exactly what my sister-in-law wanted, and she thought that by taking the name for herself, we'd not be able to use it. I laughed and told her what she did was dirty and underhanded, that we would keep our chosen name, and she could just deal with it whether she decides to go through with copying us or not. Well, my sister-in-law's baby daddy called me and said I was an unreasonable dong for still wanting to use the name after sister-in-law claimed it. I said she claimed nothing, and since we couldn't own the name, then neither could they. Before he ended the call, he threatened me by saying I'd be sorry if we didn't change the name, and then he hung up before I could respond. Months later, sister-in-law has a healthy baby boy and names him my grandfather's name. We did not show up for the birth, both because of the pandemic and because we simply didn't care to be there either. Sister-in-law called us wanting congratulations, but we told her we simply didn't care, and that if she was still insisting we change our baby's name, then she'd be in for some big disappointment because we were not. Sister-in-law demanded I put my wife on the phone, but it was already on speaker, and my wife spoke up and said she agrees with me entirely. We weren't changing the name. Sister-in-law hung up on us, but soon started sending emails with text walls of names, even suggesting similar ones. I responded back that the name was from my grandfather, and that's why we were not changing it. She shut up, and we didn't hear from her again until after our own son was born. 2 months later, we were blessed with our son. He came out perfect, and we named him just as we'd intended. Well, no surprise, my sister-in-law called us a few days after the birth to scream in our ears that we copied her son's name. I pointed out that she was the real copycat since she had no familial ties to the name, and we did. And anyone who looks at our family trees could see that. Then my wife spoke and said after the attempted theft of her grandmother's jewelry, she no longer considered sister-in-law her sister and would have nothing to do with her nephew either. For months, we were bombarded with messages and emails from my wife's side of the family. Half were on our side after finding out the whole story, and the other half were not. And sister-in-law's baby daddy's true to his word showed up at my door to make me sorry. I'm not sure what his plan was, but I pretty much towered over him. I'm 6'1" and well built from regular exercises and 3 trips to the gym a week. He, on the other hand, was very skinny and about 5'6" with a baby face that was badly hidden by a slim beard. I told him that my house has cameras and to get off my property and never come back. He just yelled a few obscenities at me and drove off in his beat-up old car. Sister-in-law and mother-in-law called us from a different number to yell at me for making sister-in-law's baby daddy feel emasculated. I didn't even threaten the man, just told him to leave and not come back. And if he didn't want to feel emasculated, then he shouldn't have come knocking. Then they tried to bring up the issue of the baby name again and demanded we change our son's names as he's so young, so there's still plenty of time to it. We held our ground and told them that they were bonkers to still think that they were in the right after they copied our choice of name just to try and get one over on us. I said sister-in-law didn't even name her son out of love, but out of spite, just to try and stick it in my wife for no good reason. Then my wife called them both out on the way she was treated growing up and how entitled the sister and mother-in-law have always been, and how she was glad to leave them far behind, and she wants nothing from them, and they won't have anything from us. That left sister-in-law sobbing, and mother-in-law called me a royal bee before hanging up the phone. That was NC again for a little while, until sister-in-law called us again sometime later to bitterly tell us that we'd won. She and her baby daddy got in a huge fight, and he left. He was apparently very sore that sister-in-law didn't let him even give their son a middle name from his family, and he said he was sick of the BS and wanted his son named after him and not some guy he wasn't even related to. Sister-in-law finally caved in, and they got the boy's birth certificate reissued with a completely new name. which cost her around $500, or so she claims. Sister-in-law then demanded we at least compensate her for the name change, plus another $100 for the emotional damage, as now she is going to have to get used to calling her son by a different name. We laughed and said that this would have never happened if she hadn't stolen our baby name to begin with, and we didn't know her anything. Since then, we have been no contact with the sister and mother-in-law, but my father-in-law, who's a very nice man and divorced from mother-in-law for obvious reasons, would come by often and loves his grandson. From what he and the other relatives told us, the situation between the sister-in-law and her baby daddy was pretty tumultuous. But we don't care. Not our monkeys, not our circus. Oh yeah, no, that's gonna be absolutely fantastic. Also, where the kid asks where their name came from. Oh yeah, well your name now is based off your father, but originally I was pissy at somebody else, so I wanted to get petty and tried to take their baby's name. Sometimes maturity is very, very important. Also, don't think anybody's gonna look at you in a good light if you try stealing their jewelry or property, or just don't steal. But with that, that is going to have to be the video. If you guys would like to be absolutely amazing, show your support, see more videos like this one in the near future, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment down below to start up the wholesome internet discussions, and if you guys have not already, subscribe to the channel and turn on them notifications. I'll be sure to see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye.